of 2-year anniversary of our AWE series, 2 wonderful years of Gita Vahini, and 6 of continuation from Prema Vahini. So my heartfelt thanks to everyone who's joined. I can see many sort of familiar faces and some new ones as well from all over the place. From Argentina, Brother Leo, welcome as well. And so many wonderful. So we'll go ahead and get started. But before we did, I wanted to sort of quickly say heartfelt thanks to sort of every facilitator and participant who sort of kept the flame alive week after week. And our sincerest thanks to Brother Suresh, whose clarity and love and might I add patience have really anchored all these sessions, and we're going to bring him in very, very quickly. From an agenda perspective, today is it's both a celebration, a reflection, not so much about summaries and slides. We are focused on transformation. So what we want to do is focus on the practical aspects of what we have learned over the past 2 years, but in particular, chapter 2. And we want to sort of both test our understanding, but also see if there are ways by which we've learned and applied those things, not just sort of understood the teachings, but how we actually sort of applied. So with that, I'm going to ask Anusha to start us off with some prayer and then get us into what Swami has to say about this. So thank you, Anusha.
Sai Ram, everyone. Let us invoke the divinity that is inherent in all. Let us pray that that divinity guides us in our every thought, word, and deed. And let that divinity shine through each of us so that we can serve ourselves and everybody around us with love and grace. Om. Om. Om.
Nirgunam, Niranjanam, Sanatanam, Niketanam, Nitya Suddha Buddha Mukta Nirmala Swarupinam.
It is ancient, it is truth, it is eternal, it is immortal, it is permanent beyond the attributes.
కనుక అట్టి పర్మనెంట్ దాన్ని మనం ఆధారం చేసుకోవాలి.
We should rely on this permanent
ఈ
principle.
టెంపరరీ దాన్ని మనం ఆధారం చేసుకుంటే మన జీవితం కూడా టెంపరరీగా అవుతుంది.
If we go by these temporary facets, the life becomes temporary.
ఆత్మ శాశ్వతము.
Atma is permanent.
దేహం మరణించిన ఆత్మ మరణించడం లేదు.
Body might perish, but Atma is eternal.
కనుక మరణించినటువంటి ఆత్మని మనం ఆధారం తీసుకోవాలి.
We should go by this immortal Atma.
ఆధారం తీసుకున్నటువంటిది అది ఒక ఫండమెంటల్ దీనిగా తీసుకోవాలి.
We should think of this Atma, the permanent basis, as the fundamental
ఈ
principle.
ఫండమెంటల్ ఆధారం తీసుకున్నప్పుడే ఈ టెంపరరీ కూడాను పవిత్రమైపోతుంది.
The fundamental principle as the basis will sanctify the temporary aspects.
So, I've watched this video so many times, and we've studied this in chapter 2, and we've talked about the Atma. Sister Advaita, when Swami says, talk about being eternal, what is he specifically referring to here? Can you help me understand that?
Sure, brother. Sai Ram, everyone. And in line with what Baba is talking, even Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, Shloka 2.0 talks about the soul being without birth, eternal, immortal, and ageless, and that it is not destroyed when the body is destroyed. So just to even try to understand what he's talking, let's do a simple exercise. I know this exercise takes, it should be done in a longer setting, but let's try to do
Okay.
it in a very short form. Okay. All
Okay.
right, so brother, so I'll just ask you to close your eyes and, look around. You see all the furniture, right? So just close your eyes and just try to remove all the furniture from your room in your mind's eye. Just remove everything. And when you've removed everything, remove even the walls, the ceilings. So tell me what remains.
Mm, not much. I don't like, mostly nothing.
Uh, okay,
Like
like
blank. Yeah.
Okay, good, good. So all right, now let's think like you see yourself, right? You feel your body. And let's try to do the same exercise with your body. Now you have you have your body, your mind, thoughts, the way you identify yourself as like a father or a son, or you have your future and past, and a whole lot going on. Just try to remove everything from Sanjeev, including your body. And just remove everything and tell me what remains when you remove everything from you.
Uh, Similar to the last time, excepting it, really nothing. I mean, like I don't
Right?
just the feeling that I could
Yes,
just,
yes, yes.
yeah, just some feeling that I
Yeah,
exist in some form, but that's not even some form, but
sure,
something
sure.
like that. Yeah.
Yes, you're spot on. And that objective less quality is the awareness that we are talking, that awareness that knows everything, right? That is the Atma that we are talking about. And I think Baba is talking about that. But it's challenging for everyone to grasp it, right? So in order to understand what this Atma is, we try to understand it from, let's say, the manifest form of Atma. What we did was understand the unmanifest form of Atma. So we're trying to understand this Atma from a manifest perspective, right? So Anusha, if you go to the next slide, we took these different characteristics of Atma, the eternal, immovable, immeasurable, indestructible, unmanifest, and try to make it very relatable in our everyday lives. So that is what we try to do. And yes, brother, please go ahead.
So yeah, thank you, Sister Rita. So this is all sort of resonating. All these sort of 2 years are coming back in flashes, etc. I may need some help here because we talked about eternal, particularly, this, with Swami's video, and then the exercise that we went through. I may need an expert here. So, Brother Suresh, can you help us out? Sai Ram, welcome.
Welcome,
So
brother.
before we get, we talked about eternal, immovable, and we'll get into this. But can you elaborate a little bit about why these particular 5 qualities? Why are we focusing on these and to start with?
Yeah. So if we go back to the video, what Bhagavan said was the permanent aspect of it is the Atma. The temporary is the world. But by infusing the permanent onto the temporary, we have a chance to even sanctify what we are doing in the world. That's what Swami said in the opening line. So what does it mean? It means that these attributes of this Atmic quality, if it is just left as just words, without translating what it implies and what it implicates, what will happen is we will just get caught in philosophy. What is important is now, okay, if Atma is eternal, what does it mean? It means that it is all the time there, everywhere. It is going to be always. It's present, past, and in the future as well. Now, if I have that quality with me, if I touch Atmic quality, that means whatever I do in this world, I must have always the thought that what can I leave behind? What can I leave for the future? How will the future generations also benefit? When you are eternal, consciousness for eternal, you will have a consciousness for sustainability, consciousness for legacy living. That kind of attitude you have. Now, I can apply this even in a Sai Center. Supposing I'm a Sai Center chairman, I work there I'm there for 2 years or 2 terms. And then when I step down, then I don't go back. I don't bother. I'm not interested because somebody else has taken over. Then we have not connected to the Atmic quality. But if your Atmic quality, even if you step down, you will be very interested to participate. You'll be interested to contribute. Whatever it is, the next chairman you must have the aspiration. The next person who takes over must take it higher than yourself. So when you have such a feeling and such an aspiration, then you're connected to the Atmic quality of being eternal.
Okay, so I understand what you're saying.
Sorry,
Yeah.
can I add something?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, Brother Leo, please.
No, first of all, I appreciate very much the invitation to be part of this. And I want to congratulate all of you for being 2 years doing this satsang. It's wonderful. And especially Suresh, it's wonderful, your time and your dedication. What I would like to tell you is a couple of things about Swami said. Once he had a meeting, an interview with several students, and he asked them who they believe he was. And the students started to give replies, Brahman, Atma, spirit, and all what you can think. And Swami said, no, no, no. At the end, he said, Nenu Nene, which means I am I. And I think that ourselves at this stage, for us to think about what is Atma is very, very difficult. Swami says that it's almost impossible. But we need to think about our I-ness or I-ness. That, once I had an experience, actually, one of the first experiences I had with Swami was, I was in a dream. In that dream, I saw myself in a room and Swami came in, and I thought, and now I will know if you are an avatar, because I will have to feel something special if you are an avatar. So we'll make it very short, because many of you might have know that experience that I shared before. But what happened in the dream is that I felt an incredible energy, and suddenly I felt, and my body was completely dead. And I had the experience of being inside the dead body. All was dead flesh, but I was completely awake, pure awareness. And that awareness that couldn't speak because the lips were dead, but shouted, you are God, you are God, you are God. So I had that experience that I exist without this body. And this is one thing that we need to understand. And then we can relate to what Suresh has said, that, the path to realize who we are is through living a virtuous life. So we have to apply all this knowledge into the practical world. And as Sai devotees, members of Sai Center, we need to think that whatever we do should be pure, and we have to do this as a sacrifice and service for the other people. And this is exactly what Suresh has said. You might have a role, an office bearer role, but even if you don't have that role anymore, you should continue trying to do your best for the Sai Center, because an expression of Swami's Sankalpa. So that's what I wanted to share with you. Thank you.
Sairam. Very nice.
Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam.
Sairam, lovely.
Okay.
So what Brother Leo's actually teed up nicely was the question that I wanted to ask you, Brother Suresh, because we'll get into how practical our sessions have been. But can you share, what is the practical purpose of studying these sort of 5 attributes, right? So we talked about the application, but is it because it helps us in our day-to-day life? Does it help us solve problems? Can you expand on that, Brother Suresh?
Yeah. Today, you see, our youth, our young people, and many of us also depending on Chat GPT and everything else for solution. You want to do any problem, you type it, you get an answer. But this was already installed in thousands of years ago. If we have an incredible, insurmountable amount of information that we have within us, and if there's an access, if we can know how to access that information, then you'll find that you'll forever be secure. You'll forever be confident. That's why even earlier chapters, if you remember, at one time we said, Atma, my friend. If I can actually have a friend like God within me, and I have it within me that I can, whatever it is, I can depend upon me to find an answer, to find a self. That's why the IMI point comes in, you see. When I can depend upon that incredible, infinite source of energy, love, compassion within me, then I don't have to depend on the external world. Do you know that gives me amazing confidence, amazing, incredible energy, enthusiasm to do what I need to do and make this best of what I want to do. What chapter 1 does is in the Gita is that Krishna forgot that. He forgot that internal chip he had, and Krishna had to reinstall it back again into his system, and then he regained back his entire glory and he fought the battle. So in our life, if you don't have that internal support that you have, we are going to face a lot of depression, sorrow, misery, over anxiety, panic attacks. So many different things can come in because we lost it from inside. So our job in this entire Gita session is to connect back to the internal chip that we have so that we can face our battles with equanimity and poise.
Wonderful.
Can I add something else?
Yes, please,
I
brother.
don't know what is the mechanism, but if you don't mind.
No, please.
It's
Yes.
just what I feel of this chapter 2. You are talking today about chapter 2, right, of the Gita Vahini.
Yep.
Okay, for me, the key point of this chapter is, and Swami says that the 11th verse is the starting of the Gita, because at the beginning, Krishna is trying to shake Arjuna, who was despondent, who was, without the desire to fight. But then Arjuna reached a point when he surrendered, and he asked for the guidance of Krishna, and he accepted his guidance. That is for us what we need to absorb from this chapter. So there is a moment when we have to say, okay, Swami, it's your way, not my way. You know better, so I will follow your teachings. In my practical life, whatever I have to do, I will filter them through your teachings. And that is, I think, what is when all started, when Krishna was able to shake Arjuna, and Arjuna was able to realize that he had the opportunity to receive what to do from Krishna, from God directly. So for me, this chapter speaks about the attitude of surrender to the divine will, to the divine wisdom. And, once, if you allow me to share another experience, may I?
Yeah, please, go ahead.
Okay. Once I had to take a decision in my life that was key for me, was if I go this way or that way, and I didn't know what to do. So it was really something that for me was essential. So I said, the only one that can give me an answer is Swami. So I reached that point that I decided whatever Swami said, I will do. So I wrote a letter. I was sitting in the veranda, so I wrote in a piece of paper a letter, and Swami came. And he came, before going into the room, he came with a lot of letters in his hands. And he took my letter and put it in the middle of those letters and went inside. As soon as he came in, he came out. Just 1 second. And he came directly to me and gave me the answer. And he told me, I will not go to the details, but he told me, you will not do that. And I said, no, Swami. So he gave me the answer. I immediately said, I will do what you say. And this is the attitude we need to have. We need to read a book, read something from Swami. When we understand the message, let's do it. Let's apply it. Because if not, we will read the Gita by rote. We will know every chapter, but we need to have this determination to apply his teachings into our real life, our day-to-day life. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Well, it's that practical aspect that we want to unpack today. So what we have is, for each of these, we'll actually have one of the facilitators sort of share, and then we'll get into some questions. So, Sister Adwaita, can you unpack for us the eternal attribute, please?
Sure, brother. So when we were talking about this eternal aspect, we were also doing the chapter 2 in theme. So one of the themes was Atma Dharma. Next slide, please. So, we talked about the dharma, Atma Dharma. Simply put, it is the dharma or duty done out of love. So, some things we had discussed was while expressing our dharma towards our parents, do we express gratitude towards them? Do we make them feel we're always for them and all that? And because I was the facilitator for this session, I was preparing it, I kind of realized that I was not doing that because I had allotted, like, a day in a week to talk
Yeah.
to my parents, and that was it. I thought, because our conversations are so long, I just thought that, I could not spend too much time on that. But then after doing this, I was like, oh my God, I'm really not doing my job, So I've started talking to them more often and checking on them more often. And my hope is that, my children see this, and I hope that they feel that, taking time out for your family members is as natural as brushing your teeth, just out of love. And I hope they will carry it forward. And that was my story. But we also have two other stories by our participants, Brother Ram Singh and Sister Jwala. And while we will play this video in a bit, just want to say that in doing what they have been doing so far, I think they serve as the sources of light for others to absorb and emulate and carry their legacy forward. So let's just hear their audios.
Om Shri Sai Ram. My name is Ram Singh. I have attended all sessions of Suresh Govindji, and I found very useful for me. And now I have completely stopped doing unproductive work like gossiping, TV watching, newspaper reading, list time on mobile and phone. This way I save time and use it for doing productive work for my self-improvement and self-realization. Thank you, Sai Ram.
We can play the other video too, audio.
These awe sessions have deepened my understanding of my mind. I've become more aware of my thoughts, words, and actions. I prefer silence over being right. I'm not interested in giving free advice anymore. I have become more accepting of people. I have stopped complaining to Swami about others' behavior that bothered me before. I don't blame myself either, although I fail occasionally. I try not to overanalyze situations and try to accept them as is.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, this is amazing. Thank you so much, Sister Advaita. Brother Suresh, question for you as you hear about, is this what we were referring to, that Brother Leo also mentioned and you spoke about in the beginning? Are these the practical sort of aspects that you'd want us to take with us?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing that, just by continuously listening, imbibing, and actually putting into practice, you see, there are some transformational changes that we are seeing, isn't it? So this is the evidence that even by associating with a group, by continuously listening to the words, and by wanting and yearning to practice this, there's something powerfully happening within the system, you see. And then when you have extra time that you have, when you have extra space that you're not involved in anything else, those extra things can be now utilized for the purposes of higher meditation, higher contemplation. You are creating better and better versions of ourselves, and we're giving that opportunity to us. So this is a beautiful experience that both the brother and sister shared with us. Beautiful. Okay. Thank you.
Wonderful, yeah. Wonderful. Well, I get the eternal part. I understand it now with these testimonials and what you shared, but I'm still a little bit unclear about the immeasurable sort of part. I'm sorry, immovable part. I'm unclear about a lot of stuff, but immovable in particular. Sister Cypressana, can you expand a little bit on that and maybe share some insights? We'd love to hear from you.
Sure. Thank you, Sairam, everyone. Immovable, as we have learned through our AWE sessions, actually refers to the faith, how our faith is really strong and it cannot be moved away from the Atmic aspect that we have. That is the characteristic that we were talking about, and Brother Suresh was talking about this immovable thing as something that can never change, like you are fixed to it and you have that permanent faith with God. So in order to explain this story, I just tell you something that I had experienced recently. Before I started the Prema Vahini sessions and the AWE sessions, I always felt very peaceful, happy, and blissful, and always had this good thought about, oh, I have a good head, very equanimous. This is, it's a problem if you think that you are like that too. And that's where I was. And the more we think and we learn and we want to be a better version of ourselves, that's when Swami starts giving us tests. Just like his one of the 108 names, he says, Sadhu Manasa Parishodhagaya Namaha. That's exactly what happened to me. So I was back in India this summer, and then I realized that I was meeting family, and when I was with my family, loved ones, I had conflicts. And when I had these conflicts, I realized how attached I am to family members that I love so much. And when they say something or do something, it really hurt me bad. I never knew that I could be hurt like that. But that's when whatever we have, this immovable faith in Swami, that was an anchor that really came back to me and helped me to really picture how being unattached to even the loved ones. I think since I was far away from India, you don't feel that attachment, but when you go back, it comes back and then it haunts you. So the troubles are more when I feel like I'm in a good state. Swami tests you to see where do you have problems. Do you have more attachment? Are you able to overcome that? So the best way for me to overcome that was, it was short. The reason we go through these sessions is when we have a problem, we will experience it a little bit, but it's not for long. We are able to bring it down in a shorter time than when if you didn't know all these things. So how did I do that? We have tools. Our tools are we have to connect to that inner self. And so the next day, I had a sleepless night, but the next day morning, I got up. I was doing my meditation as usual, and then connecting to the Swami within. And then this is where we have to really see I am responsible for what I experienced. I don't think that person was responsible or my loved one was responsible. How can I show selfless love? I have to be in that state. The meditation and getting in, connecting to Swami puts me at a higher level. And I was able to overcome and just start my day, have a clean heart, no more grudges. And so this is where our tools and our learning, our understanding about immovable faith and the presence of the Lord in us and others really helps. So that was my experience about that immovable, strong faith in the truth of who we are, helped me to overcome a situation that I thought I never had, but I had. And so I had to practice these things. So, having said that about my own experience, let's listen to Sister Uma Nori, who has recently experienced something really nice that she's going to share. She works at the library and she's a leader there. Let's listen to her.
Sai Ram. So the shift that I have noticed in myself is that I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone and doing more activities with which I was not comfortable in the past. So I was at a conference a couple months ago and had attended a session where they had mentioned that there is a grant, and if we could apply for it and fulfill the requirements, the libraries can get a grant. And my initial thought was, oh my gosh, it's difficult. There's a lot of work to do after I get back from the conference. How am I going to do it? But I was really inspired by the topic, which was conservation of the migrating birds. So I came back from the conference and spoke to my director, and he was keen and interested. He said, if you're interested, I should go ahead and try and apply for it. So, I faced some hurdles, but I still applied, and our library was awarded a grant, and we're all very excited and planning different programs to do with the grant that we got. And I also noticed when I had a staffing change and had to hire somebody new, um, somebody I knew really well, a community member, was interested when she saw a job opening and she applied. I was a little concerned if she would be a good fit in the role, and but she was the most qualified, so we chose her, and she has been just wonderful. A great team player and a great staff member. So that is the little shift that I have noticed for myself. Sairam.
Wow.
Like, brother, can I make a comment?
Sure, brother.
Okay.
Please.
First of all, I want to thank Sister Sai Prasanna because her view of Unmovable is very, very new for me, and it's important. It relates for unshakable faith. Always I thought about this aspect of God as unmovable. It confuses me always because I thought, how is it possible that God does not move? But then I thought, how can he move when he's everywhere all the time? There is no one atom in the universe where he's not there. So if you are everywhere, there is no space to move because you are already there. So for me, this aspect, when I look it from that point of view, brings me to the omnipresence of God, realizing that he's all the time here, wherever I am. And this helps me. So I will add your view of the unshakable faith to this view. Thank you.
Oh, it was from Brother Suresh. He gave it to us and we are practicing it.
Thank you, Suresh.
Well, Brother Suresh, you shared, and we in this session, we're not going into all the wonderful tools that, and we're happy to share those as well that we went through. But, one question I have for you, Brother Suresh, deep down when you're in the midst of everything, the swirl, the criticism, and et cetera, how does one bring out that faith, right? That immovable? How do we rely on that immovable aspect
Okay.
of the Atma?
Okay, I will ask that question back to Sister Prasanna. Sister, before you came for these AWE sessions, assuming you had the same experience that you had now, say 5 years ago, how many days would you have taken to come back to this state as opposed to now, roughly?
I'm sure this session reduced it to a smaller amplitude in terms of the days. Definitely it did.
So the secret of life is this is the mantra, and I think I want you all to remember this mantra. If you remember this, you can never forget. What happens to you is not as important as what happens inside you. This is the breakthrough. What happens to you is not as important as what happens inside you. What happens to you can be anything, but what happens to you inside you is what you have in control. So the secret of life is fall, but don't fall like a brick, but fall like a ball. Bounce back, bounce back. So last time you had 6-7 days, you bounce back. Now with all the session, you bounce back after a few hours. See, one night you slept, next night you are able to be bounced back. Spirituality is not about becoming insensitive to the problems of the world, but making sure we respond accurately and responsibly to the situation. But there are spiritualists who escape themselves, hide behind philosophical discussions and stay in the ivory towers and not get involved in society and community. This is not spirituality. This is passive escapism. But active involvement means, everything I'm involved, but I'm detached. I'm not, as how Krishna behaved in the Gita, in the Mahabharata. Like that, we should be in the spiritual. So your particular experience is very powerful, that you have immovable faith in whatever that you do, immovable faith in whatever you do, whatever happens, Krishna is there, or Baba is there. That faith is what Baba is talking about. That is why in the opening line, Swami said, attach yourself to the permanent self that you can sanctify to all the impermanence in the world. See, this is the secret of life. So that is what this mirror is showing. So you have demonstrated in this short period this beautiful example, and very nice, very inspiring. So I think by explaining this, Sanjeev, I've answered your question, isn't it?
You sure have. You have. I get the part about the legacy and the continuity, the sustained purpose. We talked about that, the eternal. we now talked about immovable. I'm beginning to see the linkages there, right? It links the faith, the emotional, the steadiness, like a rock, right?
Yeah.
But I'm still a little foggy about the immeasurable part of it. Sister Prasanna, since you've been on a roll here, can you expand a little bit on that? And
Sanjeev, one more thing. Before you go to
yes,
immeasurable, I just want you to know, out of 8 billion people, 1 billion have been shown by WHO to have mental disorder. What does it mean in a beautiful world, in a scientific world, in a most advanced world? Why should 1/8 of the human population have mental disorder? Because they are attaching themselves to the fluctuating mind. When you attach yourself to the fluctuating mind, peace can never be there. Baba is saying, attach yourself to the inner self, the higher self. Once it is immovable, whatever emotions comes, you are able to have the stability of your mind. So this is the answer. This actually the way to live in this world, especially in the most uncertain periods of our existence, is to establish ourselves in the most permanent self of ourselves. So the slogan is, be in the frontiers of change by being attached to yourself to the changeless self. That's what it is. Yeah. Okay, now go to immeasurable.
Okay, so immeasurable. As people, as human beings, we always say, "Oh, that's not my cup of tea. I have limitations. I don't have time." We've heard this. We heard ourselves say this, and we've always limited ourselves by our knowledge because we are thinking, like Brother was saying, with our body and mind. And when we go and delve into the Atmic aspect, this strength, this energy that we get is totally immeasurable. And this is where, when the flip the switch, if you think about one of our sessions, we have all these levels, right? Like the body, emotion, and which comes with the mind, and then the intellectual aspect because we are so knowledgeable. But then underneath all of that is the Atma, and we bypass all that. And Brother Suresh, you've always told us that's a shortcut. Why are we not taking the shortcut and just tap into that immeasurable energy where we don't put limitations on ourselves? Actually, we have a beautiful story from our sister Meena, where she is going to tell us about her experience. Let's listen to her.
My spiritual awakening journey with Sati Sai Baba. Om Sai Ram. While I was going through my grief, deep depression, and anxiety, my friends who are ardent devotees of Sai Study Circle introduced me into it. But in few years after joining the study circle and attending monthly awakening, I started seeing Baba vividly. After reading and discussing through the chapters after chapters of Sai Baba's Vahinis like love, truth, karma, gossip is sin, and our awareness of Atma, slowly I realized the true sense of life. There is a vast differences between the Maya we are dwelling and wallowing. The day-to-day life is not real. In the end, realization of Atma within me that is real and in others too. I am more empathetic and kind to others. Helping others is equal service to God. The explanation of karma theory helped me in getting out of my grief and depression. I am content and out of fear that Baba is always within me. The awakening helped me in getting rid of my ego, not affected by others' insult or praise. My expectations from my family reduced quite low, and unconditional love makes me happy and in peace. I gained my confidence, clarity, and free flow in my thinking. Though I am by myself, I feel Baba is with me, watching all the time. When I drive, I feel Baba is sitting next to me. Even I miss my way, I do not get panicked, but try to focus in finding my way back home. Thank you.
wow, this is that's quite amazing, brother. I'm I I don't have any, I had many questions, but I'm just listening to this and thinking about what limits us in these situations. Can you share your thoughts on what you just heard from Sister Meena and then Sister Cypress?
So everything is about breaking limits. If we continue to live in limits, you are in a jail. That is why Krishna was born in a jail, and he opened the jail door to tell the human world, to tell the world that if you continue to live in the jail and keep on excuses, keep on giving reasons, I cannot do this, I'm not committed to that, I won't do this, I have only this, I have only that, you are just increasing the jail doors, you're increasing the size of the jail. That's all you're doing. But if you can open the door, yes, I am busy, I have my family, I have this, but yet I'm committed to do this, yet I will be willing to do this. What are you doing? You are now tapping the infinite, immeasurable energy within you. You are tapping the infinite, immeasurable potentials in you. You're tapping the infinite possibilities in you. Therefore, you are breaking, you're coming out of the comfort. Spiritual, that's why Swami said, love my uncertainty. Why? Because it is only in uncertainty that you can explore deeper aspects of your human personality. So if you, immeasurable is infinite potential, infinite knowledge, infinite wisdom, infinite capacity, infinite capability. So who is limiting it? Our miserable mind, who is telling us, you cannot do this, you are not able to do this, you will get exhausted, you will get tired. Such individuals will only be lethargically confined to a pool. But Swami wants us to be like a flowing river, because the river knows that it has to reach the ocean. Yeah.
So, brother, when we're in the throes of all of this, right, when that self-doubt sort of creeps in and the mind sort of takes over, how do we get out of it? I'm talking from a practical perspective.
Number one, you must have very powerful satsang. That means you must have, that is why satsang is the ferry boat that can take you across the ocean of samsara. You must have people, good people, inspiring people. Therefore, if you have a doubt, telephone, brother, I feel very down. What do I do? The guy must be able to pull you out. So inspiring people are very good. But inspired people are like what type of people who are with God? God-loving people who are inspired. That's why Swami said, happiness is only union with God. Those people who are with God, who are happy, talk to them, be inspired with them. Number two, all the time have Bhagavan books and literature with you. Number three, whenever you are in sadness and depression and doubt, this is going into tamasic state. Tamas can only be overcome by rajas. That means go and get yourself activated. Plunge into it. In the process of plunging, certain arrangements will be made in your system that you will get new wisdom to come out of your own jail. So, but when we don't do any of these things and keep on sitting in your own room, confined, dark, depressed, self-doubts, you will never come out because you're stepped into quicksand. When you step into quicksand, you will go deeper and deeper and deeper. There'll be problems will come more and more. That's for our intelligence must say, hey, I'm going into quicksand. I must now pull myself. Therefore, have good people around you, have good books around you, have got good activities around you, and more importantly, have the what you call immovable faith that Bhagavan is there with you.
And can I add one thing else? Also, I think these steps are really essential, what Suresh said. I would add one practical step. Don't pay attention to your mind, to the bad thoughts. Like, Swami said, they are passing clouds. We need to become masters in not paying attention to the mind, not accepting any wrong thought. If we don't give this acceptance, we don't give energy to those thoughts, they will fade. And so if we do have good company, as Suresh said, read good books, then we only pay attention to these kind of things. And whenever we are assaulted by any bad thought, just don't react. It's not me. It's not my mind. It's not my thought. Don't accept it.
That's why at 4 every time at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., I call Brother Leonardo. You ask him and see.
Okay.
Almost every day.
Twice a day.
Twice a day. You see, he's counting the number of days I call him.
Because if you don't call me, I miss you, Suresh.
So that is wonderful. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother Leonardo, for sharing. I'm so glad you're sharing that. Well, I think we'd be remiss if we just sort of bypassed all of this and didn't get. Thank you, Sister Cypress. We'd love to now get into the Oh, sorry. There's one more testimony.
Hi, Ram. My name is
My bad.
Amoya. I'm AYA from Chicago Metro Region 5. I want to take a second to say what the Prema Vahini / Gita Vahini has meant to me. I think I've really gained awareness and I've been able to see Swami in day-to-day tasks and day-to-day living far more than I did before. I've also learned from others in the breakout groups based on their experience. And I think I'm overall just so much more aware of Swami's presence, of Swami's teachings. And as I mentioned, just in day-to-day life, seeing Swami in ways that I haven't seen before. So for that, I'm really eternally grateful. Sairam.
Oh, that's absolutely beautiful. That is absolutely it's lovely. All these it's testimonies. It speaks to sort of the practical aspects of it. So, brother, hopefully you're seeing that we're sort of learning and applying it. We're not just sort of repeating everything, but to add some dimension to the indestructible aspect of the Atma. I'd like to request Sister Anusha to expand a little bit and share some insights, please.
Sairam, thank you. Indestructible for me represents that resiliency of the spirit, not getting bogged down by anything, any challenge, any failures, anything that would come in our way, not being affected by it. And for me, the foundation for that lies in that steadfast actions, that we cling on to, but not being attached to the outcomes of it, or rather focus on the journey, but rather than focusing on what comes at the end of it. I can share my own experience. I recently took up a job. This is a job I really, really wanted. There was no doubt about it. I wanted this job and I was excited to start it. But then as days went by, I started feeling this immense amount of pressure and almost a level of, anxiety that was creeping in every day. And it was not letting me even do my job, to the certain extent that I would want to. And this is a job that I want to do. So I started reflecting quite a bit on why am I feeling this? I want this job. I really, needed it and I got it. And what is that's stopping me from doing what I love to do? Little did I realize that I was putting this immense amount of pressure on myself only because that I had the fear of failure. I was attaching myself too much to what is going to happen if I fail in this job that I've been given. I put, ridiculous amount of things in my mind to say that, what would other people say? What would if I fail? This is going to be such an embarrassment. What my family think? What would my colleagues think? All of this. So everything, went back into my mind to, actually stop me from doing what I love to do. So every day now, I try to remind myself that I do have this indestructible quality within me, which means every failure is going to teach me something. So it is not bad. It is not bad at all. Even if I fail, that is still going to give me a certain amount of learning from which I pick up and then I move on to my next step. So I'm trying to detach myself and then do it just for the sake of doing it. And now my work is actually turning out a lot more enjoyable compared to what it was a few weeks ago. That's my sharing. I would like to now share another video from one of our regular participants. He actually shares something very interesting, that he has unattached himself of a certain outcome. And let's hear from him.
Sairam everyone, this is Bar Patel from Fremont, California, Region 7. Couple of things that I would like to talk about, which has helped me with these study circle sessions over the years. First, being non-judgmental. And what I have learned is that when you don't judge the book by its cover, it helps you a lot and makes you more calm and composed. Whether it's the client coming to you with an angry face and all sorts of things happening. First thing is to stay calm and composed. Second, listen to what the problem is. Listening is more important than hearing. And when you come down to their level, they appreciate that and they respect that, and then the whole atmosphere will change. Second thing that I would like to talk about is non-attachment. In December 2024, a similar recording was sent to be played in one of the sessions following, and my recording was not played. I was sent a message apologizing, sorry, we did not play your video. I sent a message back saying that is completely fine because I'm not attached to my video, so therefore I am not worried at all, and it's okay if my video is not selected. So when you feel and think like this, you feel lighter and you don't judge anyone. You stop judging people, and this will help you when it comes to your daily life, no matter whatever you're doing. Jai Sai Ram.
Oh, so nice. Side up.
Thank you. Thank you, Brother Patel. Our apologies. It was purely a timing constraint. There was nothing else. But you still took it as a lesson. And thank you for sharing that wonderful memory from the past and how you overcame it. We do have one more video, and then it's over to you, Uncle, to share your thoughts. The next one is actually another aspect of non-attachment. It's more about being equanimous and how to deal situations where you are faced, you're surrounded by drama, but then how can you still be equanimous in that situation? So here we go. We have Brother Ramesh.
Jai Sai Ram. Thanks for the opportunity. The AWE satsangs has made a significant change in how I perceive and do our activities during the daily life.
Sorry, we're not hearing anything.
Experience is that in the past, when there is an emotional argument or when there is something going on,
Sorry, we are not hearing it.
something and I'm in the middle of it, I used to get
I think you're muted.
Oh, the volume is low, but everybody's able to hear? Anybody?
Yes.
Yeah,
Low.
we are able to hear, but as you said, the volume is low.
Volume is low, yeah.
It used to make me, I may not show it externally, but I would feel it so bad. And that would really reflect in my other walks of life significantly. But lately, there was a lot of commotion at my work, and there was quite a bit of discussion about changes, big changes, and huge, arguments that are happening around me, and I'm part of it. I'm in the middle of it. And what is strange is that I'm able to observe myself in the middle of that argument, that I'm being very calm. I'm not really, affected by it. I know things are not going the way what we would like to happen, but yet I don't seem to be really affected by that. It was really surprising to me. And I give full credit for the AWE satsangs and the thought processes and the activities that we do. I was able to apply many of these principles. Even though I was being blamed for something by few people around me, I know it is not true. Before I used to get worried, now it doesn't affect me. I said, that's okay. It can be, I accept it wholeheartedly. And the best part is, right in the middle of that experience, I'm able to actually see myself, how I react, and I'm looking at myself. I'm thinking in the middle of as the middle of the conversation is going on, I'm thinking, how am I so calm? How am I not getting affected by this? And later on, I come back and think about it, and I really relive that experience. That actual negative discussion or whatever happened actually has made a positive change in my life. So I'm able to see a shift in paradigm about how we handle situations. This has given me plenty of confidence within myself to handle the situation. And I really thank Swami and the entire team for consistently and persistently organizing such events on a regular basis. Thank you.
Nice.
What do you think, brother?
I think it's fantastic. You see, the secret of life is very simple. Both brother Ramesh and brother Bharat had one secret. People throw lemon. When people throw lemon, some people will say, "Ayo, painful, don't throw, I'm hurt." Okay, that is one way of reacting. But the secret of life is if you can, people throw lemon at you, can you turn it into lemonade? So this is what happens. So when people throw lemons, you need to know how to throw lemonade. There's another example. People throw brick, you can take the brick and create a wall. I won't be with them. I will be myself. I will be like that and create a very big wall. Using the same bricks, you can create a wall. Or you can turn the bricks into bridges. That means every brick thrown, I make it into a nice bridge. I connect to experiences. I connect to higher reality. That's why we did once a play called Bricks, Walls and Bridges, and we made a play like that. So it's all about choices that we make. So the secret of Atmic life is to make intelligent choices to face, because in life you will be receiving criticisms, there will be blames, and there will be people who will unnecessarily throw stones. But the idea is that don't turn everything else into positivity. Convert every adversity into an opportunity. That is what Atmic living is all about.
So, brother, on this thing, it occurred to me that we've gone through 4 qualities. We're going to get through the 5th one. But from a practical perspective, how does one prioritize, or does one sort of inspire the other? Or if there's a problem, which one do I go to?
No, you don't need to, because if any one of these attributes you get connected to, it's interconnected. It's not like Atma has got unmanifest compartment and the indestructible compartment, then I have to open the compartment. And it's not like that. If any part of our life is affected, if we are demotivated, dispirited, get to the Atmic level, feel the connection, you will feel connected, and something will happen in your system that will be always overlapping. Sometimes it overlaps to other attributes as well. So we need not really be confined to that particular thing, but just know that every answer and every solution is within you. That gives you an incredible confidence.
Okay. So don't worry about what's going on too much outside. It's keep the focus inwards. To look for the problem. Okay, got it.
Sanjeev, the mantra, Sanjeev, again, mantra. What happens to you is not as important as what happens inside you. Remember this. If this you can remember, it's okay. What happens outside to you is not important. What happens inside you? Are you still keeping that spirit alive? That is what that counts.
Okay, got it. Okay, wonderful. Yeah, thank you for sharing and for our testimonials as well from Brother Ramesh and Brother Bharat. And thank you so much, Anusha. When we talk about all of these, it all assumes that things are sort of manifested. It's all sort of out there. Would love to hear from Geeta on the unmanifest portion of it. So, Geeta, can you please expand on that?
I think Uncle made my job very easy because he already sort of gave the solution to this. So if we sort of refer back to the precise verse, which is verse 28 of chapter 2, Krishna talks about all beings are unmanifest in their beginning, appear in the middle only, and again disappear at their death. When you take it at a very literal meaning, you could surmise a few things, but I think we took the same concept of unmanifest as an attribute of Atma, and we made it a little bit more palatable, I guess. And so if we had to define unmanifest, we would say that it is really representing the realm of infinite potential, where all possibilities truly exist before taking form. It's really that silent space between actions, thoughts, and moments. And by really letting go and embracing this unmanifest consciousness that's around us, we're able to tap into creativity and insight. And truly, this is the recipe for becoming the best versions of ourselves. And these are the same things that a lot of different great people that have come and walked this earth have sort of tapped into. And very much like the depths of the ocean, you feel that silence. In that direct experience of our inner self, we're able to experience that creativity and the clarity. And really, when we've gone beyond that expression on the surface level, we truly experience that unbounded being that's pure consciousness. And really, part of that whole experience of getting to that space of pure consciousness requires these activities, which Uncle alluded to, right? Whether it's going to service projects, whether it's, chanting a name, whether it's going into a state of meditation, daily practices. All of these are practical toolkits that we have access to allow these holy shifts to happen within our inner self. As long as we are able to tap into this sea of pure consciousness that's around us, it allows us to move from a state of resistance to reverence, from a state of to-do to tada. And really, one of the things that we talked about was really the seed really has the power within to transform into a tree. And in that same vein, all of us have solutions within ourselves if we truly tap into that potential. And if we're able to let go our limitations, which was alluded to earlier, we will be able to, get into the depths of our own self that we didn't realize possible, which Patanjali talks about considerably in the Yoga Sutras. So one, of course, this entire process of putting the Gita Vahini together with this esteemed group of people has been, sort of, managing that unmanifest to manifest, because each episode is one of those. One story that does come to mind is recently, in the recent past, was a project that we've undertaken as a group to provide services to the underserved. I'm a physician by training. And so our clinic, the free clinic that we were working with, we wanted to make sure that we had given access to people that were really struggling and going through a lot of difficult times, just given the current political climate. And we felt that the best way, we were not able to reach to too many people. So in the depths of silence, in one of the meditative experiences, the answer was very clear, because the question was constantly in the head, was like, how do I solve? How do I solve? How do I solve? When finally the questions sort of moved away to the side, in the depths of that silence, really, I felt the answer that was coming through was use a virtual modality. And how you do it is by, reaching out to your friends. And that was all that was, thrown at me. And after that, just by recognizing those were the aha moments that were coming through, it was up to me to sort of piece that together in the way and allow the divine to unfold the rest of the way. We started off with offering virtual sessions, which really, required us to go beyond our comfort zones and to sort of get people together. It happened. And the next step was to figure out how would patients arrive to this. We decided to take a chance. We asked the facilitators, even if one person showed up, would you do it? The answer was a resounding yes. So we decided to go for it. The first session, as one would expect, we only had 3 people show up, but we were still consistently ready to put the effort in because everyone was so clear about wanting to work on this idea. As we saw the days go by and our persistence continue and our focus being larger than ourselves, what we found was those 3 people transformed to 23 people within a span of several weeks. And to me, like, that was a true testament of truly experiencing this unmanifest potential that is all around us. And I'm pretty sure that all of us have had these aha moment experiences in our day-to-day life if we were to rewind and recap in our own existence. And I think being part and parcel of this Gita Vahini series has really been that for me personally. And so with that, I actually invite, Shivani to perhaps share a few of her thoughts on a recent experience that she was sharing that she had, which also sort of brings in the same idea of really tapping into the Atmic self. Shivani?
Yeah, Geeta, I just want to share that I'm a very introvert person. And I was in a group of friends where I was seeing like it was not aligning with the Swami's principle. Many times I thought, okay, I'll tell this to my friend that we should do things like this and that. But I could not come out of that shell. So then one day, ultimately, I flipped the switch and I came out of my comfort zone, and I talked to that friend, like, let's do the things this way. This is not the way Swami wants us to do the things, whatever the chores we were doing. So I'm very happy that these all sessions helped me to come out of that comfort zone where I was very happy initially, not saying anything to anybody and very happy. But no, I got that courage, I got that confidence to talk and spread like Swami's teaching out there. Thank you to Suresh Uncle for all this.
No, brilliant. So as Shivani, sort of shared here, really what I felt in her story was very clear was that one, she was so anchored in her truth, in her, it was that immovable quality of what she felt was her purpose, her ethics, and then sort of breaking the barriers, as was mentioned earlier, and really tapping into her own courage and like bringing that out. To me, like that's kind of one of the holy shifts that she did for herself. So I'll turn it over to you to sort of bring us back home.
Thank you so much, brother. There's a lot to unpack here, but one of the questions that sort of come, this notion, with the stories that we heard, how do we readily tap into this sort of unmanifest potential within us, brother?
So Deepak Chopra talks about this quite a bit in the sense that, you see, when we are thinking about something, one thought quickly attaches itself to another thought, then another thought, and so there's already an internet, like woven. So this is your mind. So in this mind, you can't get through the Atma because Atma is down there. This is already there. So we all the time floating here. So he says that the meditation and everything else is creating a space between one thought and the other thought. That is why Gita just now mentioned silence. See, the word silence means in that silence, you are breaking down one thought and another thought, and there's a slight little space created between the two thoughts. And what is intuition is slipping in between the thoughts. When you slip in between the thought, boom, the idea comes out. And that is called intuition. The other aspect of knowledge is coming from outside, instinctive knowledge, other things, but intuitive knowledge comes from this. So this is why Swami has been emphasizing meditations, keep silence, because you will create a space. The most creative aspects, in fact, the history of human civilization is the history of science moving forward by scientists who have been silently intuitive to bring out the knowledge. That's why in science, they don't say, oh, I sat down quietly and meditated and intuited. No scientist will ever be saying this because they're too arrogant to demonstrate that. But what they will say is that, and I myself being a scientist, I will declare that we never say that. But what we normally say is that, oh, this is our breakthrough. This is a scientific word. This is our break. So how did you get the breakthrough? Oh, it just happened. One day it just happened. So this breakthrough is what is meant by the two thoughts going separately, and we are slipping into the space. When we slip into the space, the unmanifested potentials and creativity and ideas all spring out. So the best of the best of the best of men is still inside us. We need to bring it out. And especially in this world where the AI is coming in, where the world of creativity and so many things are coming in, if we stick to our mind and remain like that, I'm telling you very soon, we will become irrelevant. We need to demonstrate the relevancy of our life. How relevant we are in this world depends on how creative we are. And how creative we are depends on how quiet you become and how intuitive you become and how connected you become. That is why the Bhagavad Gita and all the spiritual techniques is not just for one century, it's meant for every time. That's why the young people do not realize this. They think that this is all esoteric. No, it's really a recipe to live in this world. Otherwise, if you continue the way you're going, you will be bored. Number one, you'll be depressed, you'll be suppressed, you'll be suffocated, you'll be continuously living in a world of stress. We are here to generate a stress-free life and help others to move forward. That is what this unmanifest capability can do for us.
Wow. That's fantastic. Yeah. Thank you, Geeta. Thank you, Shivani. Thank you so much. What I'm going to do, we have one sort of interesting testimonial from Govindarajan uncle. Then, brother, we'd love to get your sort of final thoughts to sort of stitch everything together. And Uncle's testimony is rather interesting because it sort of brings many different sort of pieces of all the 5 aspects that we've sort of talked about. So, Anusha, can I request you to please play that?
Sairam, climbing the spiritual ladder through the AWE journey. Through the AWE Awake Wisdom and Experience sessions, I discovered profound insights on the Gita principles: grow spiritually, inspire others, transform work into worship, and act with detachment. I reflected on Swami's teaching that life is a climb from I to we, using the body to serve, the mind to discriminate, and Atma to illuminate. This journey upward from self to selflessness is what I call climbing the spiritual ladder. The ladder rests on service and leans on love, its 2 eternal supports. While climbing the spiritual ladder, I am not afraid of faults and failings. These are steps for progress on the spiritual ladder. Every fall is used as an opportunity to rise. Using self-assessment tools like Dharma scales to evaluate myself as a parent, son, worker, devotee, and the soul wisdom prescription for daily living to stay mindful of my growth. To deepen this practice of self-inquiry, I created a spiritual survey of 85 questions, which helps me periodically assess and purify my inner tendencies. I strive to grow with sincerity, love, and devotion, moving step by step towards becoming a purer and more loving instrument in Swami's hands. May Swami bless and shower His grace on all of us as we celebrate Sai 100. Sai Ram.
Wow. Saira.
So, brother, as we celebrate the 100th birthday, what are some of the key messages, right? Because you've been with this journey patiently with us, and you heard these wonderful, wonderful this thing, as well as so many people have sort of contributed, the participants who are on this call, etc. Can you distill down from a practical perspective, how do we stitch all of this together?
Yeah.
What are some of the key messages that you want us to take away from this?
I think Brother Venkat has really nicely summarized and crystallized the whole essence of what the whole Gita is and what we should be doing. Actually, for Baba's birthday, we can make a huge big cake and say happy birthday, Swami, and all that. And then we can buy a big present, or we can do a big project. We can do all these things. But I think the greatest gift is what he wants. What does Swami want? That's all. So you ask, what do you want, Baba? What do you want? His answer is only simple. Come back to me. Full stop. Ayo, Baba, how do I do that? Come, let go of all the things. So my greatest gift is, can I create a better version of myself? Can this river reach the ocean? That's all. So today you should give birth to a powerful, strong intention. Whatever happens, by the time I finish my life on this earth, I'm with you. I will discard all negativity, all complacency, all lethargy. I just want to be a humble instrument. You use me to the best of your ability. Use me to the maximum. That should be the prayer. Use me to the maximum. What do you want, Swami? What do you want? Are you happy? Tell me, what can I do for you? Like that should be that thing. Just as how Hanuman, other monkeys stood in front of Swami, Om Ramaya Namaha, Om Ramaya Namaha, Om Ramaya Namaha, Rama Rama Rama, and continue to put flowers and praise. But Hanuman, what do you want? Why you so? No, Sita is okay, I'll do for you. And jumped across the ocean. I think that aspiration to want to do for Bhagavan is the best missionary work and the best prayer you can ever have. Because once you have the missionary zeal to do, he will endow you with all the qualities, bhava, love, all these things is just incidental. He'll give it to you. But we must have the intention to do that. So this today, for Swami's birthday, 100th birthday, let's aspire to create that aspiration. Number 2, I want all of you to know one truth. I've attended many study circles. I've been around Indonesia, so many places. I'm telling you, without batting an eyelid, I'm telling you, the team that we have here in this whole group, it is not knowledge that matters. It is how the delivery of the knowledge that matters. And many of you spend hours and hours and hours looking through most creative ways of making sure that people understand. Why the transformation took place very earnestly and enthusiastically and quickly is because our arrow shooting was very powerful. Your every lesson, there were creative ways in which you conceived and thought of and brought to the table, and always try to improve. Okay, what shall we do? Okay, add the video, add the what podcast. That earnestness to convey the knowledge to the people is how transformation takes place. And this kind of enthusiasm and earnestness we have not really seen in many other places. And I really like to congratulate this whole team. The team leaders, especially the facilitators, for really painstakingly bringing 6 years of continuous journey into an amazing thing. It's not easier, but yet it was so much fun. It was so much fun. Actually, I learned from all of you, not that you. I learned so much from all of you, from each insight. It was so powerful that you all gave. I also, amazingly, it was really a two-way learning. Third point is that when we do these things, you yourself can see in reflecting in your own lives whether what we are investing here, is it sprouting somewhere else? Whether you're investing here, you can see the results, you can see the fruits. That itself is a testimony that whatever that we are doing here has brought results. So the earnestness. So the others who are here, really, I like to really use this opportunity. If you thought this is useful, and if you think that you should tell your other devotees, tell other people, tell the youth, especially young adults, ask them all to come in and participate and learn from every one of us how these things can be, because somewhere along the way, the knowledge that you have gained a little here will become useful elsewhere. And that is what Swami's entire purpose is. And so we conclude by saying that, Sanjeev, conclude by saying that just everybody, if we can imagine on 100th birthday, we work ourselves, Bhagavan, I don't want to give you a gift. My gift is myself. I want to be a gift for you. I want to be this gift. I want to be hollow, humble, simple, sincere. Just be your tool, be yours. And that's all I want. Just you testify. I don't want anything else except you. That kind of single-pointed aspiration, if we can develop, that devotion is devotion. And that's why bhakti, love for the sake of love alone, is bhakti, what he said in Prema Vahini. So we're not asking him to give me this, give me that, but just love for the sake of love, and just live happily and joyously and treat life as an adventure. I think we can call it a game. Sai Ram, thank you.
Thank you, brother. Heartfelt thank you to you, brother Suresh, for illuminating the truth so practically, and also to every facilitator. So there was a sampling of the facilitators who will share today, but there's so many more, and as well as the participants, etc. So as we conclude, the participants, many of who are here this evening, week after week, who've been sort of joining us and inspiring us with the questions and their thoughts, and bringing it alive for us. So with that, the chapter 3 is what is getting started. So with that same light, we'll continue to grow. Our next episode is on Sunday, December 7th. The times are sort of noted here. We are eternally grateful to sort of everyone who participated, who took time out from their Saturday evening to spend with us. We are extremely grateful, and so thank you, everyone, and Jai Sai Ram. So appreciate it.
There's one question, brother, and then Brother Bharat raised his hand too.
Sure thing, of course, please. I go ahead. We have time, brother. We have time for a question or two.
We still have 8 minutes, I think.
Okay, go ahead.
Sairam,
go ahead, brother. Quickly, yep.
I just want to ask Dr. Suresh, what I have tried to do when I read the Vahinis and Swami's discourses. Now, if you can see my fingers, the fingers are Swami's words. What I try to do is try to read between the lines to try and understand his message.
Yeah.
And eventually, I'm trying to get to the back of the text, what Swami is really trying to teach us. In other words, when you dive deep down the ocean, on the ocean bed, you find all these pearls and gems. and that is what's hiding here. My question is, how do I get here?
Okay, so it is for this purpose, because I realized a lot of books are available for concentration, a lot of books are available for meditation. That's why Swami said concentration, contemplation, meditation. For the fourth conference we had here in Malaysia, for zonal conference, I wrote a book called Contemplation. That book title of the book is A Template to Contemplate, because I realized the question, many people have these questions in mind. How do I contemplate? So I used the Vahini, the Jnana Vahini, and just one paragraph. I took 5 paragraphs and wrote a 144-page book on how we should decipher each line, how we should denote this. Because you're right, it is 4 lines, but you must read in between the lines, because the master has written in the language of contemplation, in the language of suggestiveness, in the language of love. And unless you are in the love mood, you will not be able to appreciate what he's trying to say. So I wrote that maybe one day, very soon, I think if not by next week, it will be up in the Amazon.com. I think it's in the link, so that then you can download it from there. Yeah.
We can share that in the this thing with a link into the thing as well, Bharat. So thanks for asking that.
There's one more question, brother.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Brother Ram has asked, how can we be in tune with Atma, practically speaking? Do we start getting a feel once we mechanically do it?
No. So it's actually quite simple. How do you learn swimming if you're not in the swimming pool? So I can learn theoretical, I can learn breaststroke, front stroke, I can even get a PhD, but then finally when we say we're allergic to water, the real thing won't come in. So the only way we can get to the Atma is just just do the work, the Swami's work, get into the center, do the thing, go for bhajan, organize things, go for seva, just get into the ocean, swim in the ocean. You'll find that somehow or other the mind gets subdued. When the mind gets subdued, you will have innate wisdom developed from which guides you to your own Atma. Right now, the mind is controlling all of us. The mind is telling you must do, but we have to move away from the mind. Moving away from the mind is to move the system to another way. That's why it's called Satyasai movement. We need to move from the level of the physical, level of the mental, level of the intellectual to the level of the Atma. By only involving ourselves in work that is necessary to please him, that itself will give us the natural guidance to go into this state. Easily, I'm giving you a very easy option from my experience. Of course, you can sit and read, you can do, but all that I find is nice. It's a lot of analysis, we'll be debating, discussing. If you love a girl, you just give the flower, hey, I love. You see, that's simple, straightforward. I can go and study about it, I can write a PhD thesis, but I still will not get married, isn't it? So therefore, I mean, to put it very, so I need to do, if I love my guru, I do work for him, that's all. Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Are there Didi, other questions that have come
Yeah, I
up?
think that was the last, brother. That was the only one. Thank you.
Okay, got it. Wonderful. I'm so glad we were able to squeeze in the time for these questions. So keep them coming, and we hope to see you next month, and look forward to that. So thank you, everyone. Jai Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. Firstly to everyone, Jai Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Jai Sai Ram. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Thank you, Sai Ram.
Thank you, Sai Ram.